Today, I'm going to show you how to create this ornament for your tree depicting the top secret letter about the Sorcerer's Stone that Hagrid gave to the Head Goblin from Dumbledore. The things we'll need to create our Sorcerer's Stone Gringotts Letter ornament is an item to make our Sorcerer's Stone, so I am using the little quartz beads that we used in our Elixir of Life potion. We're going to use some jewelry head pins in gold. We're going to use 2 gold beads and a gold hook. I'm using a hot glue gun with some red sealing wax, as well as a Hogwarts wax seal. We're going to use some of the thinnest hemp cording, a bone folder. We're going to use a red Sharpie and a brown permanent marker. Then we'll need some pliers and scissors, as well as some brown wrapping or craft paper. And finally, we will need our goblin letter printed on our textured cardstock. Link is in the description down below. Let's get started. Would you like a chance to win one of my potion bottles? Then consider supporting me over on Patreon. All of my patrons have a chance to win a monthly potion bottle. Link is in the description down below. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to take our quartz bead and we are going to transform it into a miniature Sorcerer's Stone, just like we did with our Elixir of Life potion. So I'll put a card up above that'll take you to that video and show you how to colorize and get the stone ready. I'll also put a link at the end of the video and in the description. But let's go ahead and transform our stone. Okay, so now we have our little miniature Sorcerer's Stone, and it already has the hole drilled in it. So now we can transform it into our Sorcerer's Stone for our ornament. So the only thing that's going to be different about how we hang this one and the one we did for our Elixir of Life potion is we're going to actually add some of the brown paper that was wrapped around the stone when it was in the vault. So all I did was hand rip a section of our craft paper into like a rough square, and we are going to crumple it up. And I'm going to crumple it up really tiny like this, and then we're going to open it back up. And then we're going to crumple it again. And when you think you have the texture that you would like, we are then going to take our head pin here that has the flat bottom. And we're going to take one of our gold beads and feed that on. And as you can see, that little flat stopper keeps the bead from coming off. And then we're going to feed our paper on here. So I'm just going to kind of rough find the center. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we're just going to poke it through. Because then we're going to take our little Sorcerer's Stone here, and we're going to feed that on. So then that way the paper can just kind of crumple around our little Sorcerer's Stone, looking like it's freshly unwrapped. Now, if you hold the bottom of your little head pin down here, it'll kind of keep everything in place so that we can place our other gold bead right on top. And then we're going to take our pliers, and we're just going to bend this down to create a loop that everything will be able to hang on. All right, so we have got our little hook here that's going to allow us to hang our Sorcerer's Stone. And we have our crumpled paper that'll be right around it. So now we can start to make our letter. Now that our Sorcerer's Stone is done, we can get our letter ready. So in many regards, this is very similar to our acceptance letter ornament that we made a couple years ago. It's basically just a little bit bigger, but I'll show you again how to go ahead and fold this. So if you have a Cricut, you could have it cut this out and you could have it make score lines for you. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that I have score lines already on here from my Cricut, which will just kind of help me fold it a little bit. But if you don't have that, you can use your bone folder or anything that's going to just help you get a crease and a straight edge, and you can just pre-score your lines right around here. But I am going to still use my bone folder to help put everything together. So since I have mine scored, I'm going to go ahead and let those score lines help me fold this. So basically I just rough fold these, and then once I get it rough folded, then I go around with my bone folder and just give everything a nice crease. Make sure everything is good and clean. Okay, so now that everything is rough folded, we're going to clean those creases up. Okay, so now that we have that all cleaned up here, we can then fold this over. Now, you're not going to see that that overlaps a little bit, so you don't really need to worry about it, because when this is closed and it has its little wax stamp, it's not visible at all. So I'm going to take a glue stick, just like I did in our acceptance letter, and go along the edges here, and we're going to glue this shut, and we're going to glue this tab down. Okay, so I went through and glued everything down, and now we are ready to tie our string on this. So if you'll recall, when Hagrid gave the letter to the Head Goblin, it was tied with a string, which also had the wax seal through it, which basically just confirmed that it wasn't opened prior to the Head Goblin getting his hands on it. So the first thing we're going to do is run that piece of string like right underneath of where it says the Head Goblin. And we're going to flip it over, and in the center here we're going to make our little tie, and then we're going to flip this back over and put it back into place. Now this is where we're going to take both of our ends, and we're going to put it underneath that initial string. Okay, and once we get those under there, then we can tie this. And then we're going to knot this before we make our tie. And now that I have that knotted, I'm going to make my little tie here. Okay, and I think our loops look pretty good there, so I'm just going to trim the ends. So we've got our little Hogwarts letter from Dumbledore to the Head Goblin. And if we need to make any adjustments, now is the time to do it. But I actually think this is in a pretty good position, because we're then going to put our wax seal right here on the back, and it's going to lock everything into place. So I have my hot glue gun with my sealing wax in here, and I put this on a low temperature. Sealing wax melts much easier than regular hot glue, so I always recommend that you go with a low setting so that it doesn't come gushing out somewhat uncontrollably. And we've got our little Hogwarts seal here and our little tie on the front. So now our little letter is done, except we're going to add an area where we'll be able to hang this. So I'm going to take a section of our same jute twine here, and I'm going to push it underneath the edge of our little tie here. And then I'm going to tie this. And then I'm just going to do a simple knot into this. And then I'm actually going to flip this so that our little knot will hide on the back side of our letter here. Like this. So now we can take our little Sorcerer Stone that we made, and we're going to feed our little loop we just made with our letter through this hook, which is why I didn't completely clasp it shut yet. And now we can completely close this. Okay, so now we've got our little letter to the Head Goblin and our Sorcerer's Stone, and we'll be able to hang them together. And once we had our gold hook, there you have it. Our letter from Dumbledore to the Head Goblin at Gringotts that Hagrid gave when Harry and Hagrid went to Gringotts for the very first time to retrieve the Sorcerer's Stone out of Vault 713. This will be a perfect addition to our Christmas tree or just a fun paper replica to have in your collection. So if you guys like this video, give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and we will catch you guys later. Thanks so much.